What's up, everyone? Welcome back. So, big story today, December 29th, 2024, very end of the year, a plane crash in South Korea. And again, if you guys have been watching my channel, the reason we're covering this is going to be part one. This is a pre-recorded video, but later tonight, I'm going to come on and do a live stream with y'all and share even more info. But in this video, we're going to briefly talk about the video that was hidden on my channel a few days ago. Anyway, I made a video. This video was the thumbnail for the video a few days ago about this plane crash in Azerbaijan on the Christmas day, and this video got hidden by YouTube. So we're going to briefly go over this video, what I talked about the other day, and then we're going to go over this new plane crash that just happened today. And again, guys, before December even started, me and my friend Casey Jones Astrology from YouTube and Derek Gematrinator 85 on YouTube were talking about plane crashes around December 19th, which is Trump's 326th Mercury birthday. And if you go back on my channel, here is a video from 2 weeks ago. It got 2.9K views. Air Force One down, Trump, Mercury, and Steve Mensch. So this video, from 2 weeks ago was the beginning of all these plane crashes. Okay, and you can see here just 8 days ago another plane crash video I made, right? And then I made another one 2 days ago with this thumbnail that got hidden. Okay, so let's just go over the timeline of all the plane crashes, the prominent stories that have happened in December. And again, before December even started, me and my two friends that I mentioned, we were talking about plane crashes specifically for this time period, and we did not expect 4 different stories connected to these plane crashes. So let's talk about the first one. The first one I did the video on December 6th. It was the president of Tyler Perry Studios, Steve Mensch. He died in a plane crash, okay? And just keeping the word president, this all connects to Donald Trump, guys. Every single one of this is all about Donald Trump's presidency. Okay, so the first crash of the month that was that was a big story, was this president of Tyler Perry Studios, Steve Mensch, on 12/6. Then, 13 days later, on December 19th, there was a high-profile story of a plane crashing on the property of a football player of the Buffalo Bills, Deion Dawkins. Okay, I did a video about that too. I did 2 videos about each of these. And then I did a video about this plane crash in Azerbaijan on December 25th on Christmas, okay? And then I wake up this morning and Derek from Gematria sends me this of a plane crash in South Korea. And if you guys know, I've also been talking about South Korea the last month. Look, I have 2 videos about South Korea, a Squid Games one, right? Because Squid Games, the South Korean show, just released, and now we have a plane crash. What are the chances of that, guys? South Korea has had 2 presidency changes in the last couple weeks, because remember the martial law got declared, right? And then they impeached the first president, Yoon Suk Yeol. They replaced him with Han Duck-soo, who also got impeached 2 days ago. And now they have a new president, the 3rd president this month. So if you don't think this is all connected to presidents and South Korea, you're crazy, because it obviously is. What are the chances we get this plane crash story just after all the South Korea stuff that's happening this year? And this flight that crashed today on December 29th was in South Korea, okay? Flight Jeju Air Flight 2216, okay? And again, so this is the timeline. These are the 4 plane crashes. Now, in my last video that was hidden on YouTube, I talked about how the election this year in the United States was a huge plane crash riddle, okay? Remember, Kamala Harris got 226 votes, which is the gematria of airplane crash, all right? And what do you think the gematria is of the plane that just crashed today? Well, let's type it in, guys. Let's just type it in. It's 226, guys. 226. Jeju Air Flight 2216 equals 226 in the same cipher as airplane crash. And remember, I told you Kamala Harris got 226 votes in the election. Now, Trump got 312, and I talked about how the number 312 was manifesting itself because a few days ago before Christmas, God put on my heart to start watching the show Lost, okay? Which is about Oceanic Airlines Flight 815 that crashes and they get stranded on an island. So, for some reason, God put on my heart to randomly start watching this movie on December 23rd. And 2 days later, we had the plane crash in Azerbaijan. And now, 5 days later, we have another airplane crash. So, ever since I started watching this movie or this show, guys, there's been two big plane crashes. So, maybe I should stop watching this show. I don't know. But, anyways, I told you that Trump got 312 votes, and on the same day that the Azerbaijan plane crashed, you had Azerbaijan Airlines, which equals 312. You had a score in the National Football League of 31-2, which is a very rare score. And I showed you guys how the score 31-2 is very rare because the last time that there was a 31-2 score in the NFL was all the way back in 1965. And if you measured from the last 31-2 game to the one that happened on Christmas 31-2, it was 21647 days, which is the 243 prime, 2430 prime, which is the 2069 composite, and 2069 is the 312 prime. And again, that was the final scores of the game, 312, 3-1-2. And I told you about how this show Lost about the plane crash is separated. The first and last episode are separated by 2069 days, which is the 312 prime, which again is what you end up getting if you measure from the last 31-2 game and the one that happened on Christmas, which again was the same day of the Azerbaijan's airlines crash, which equals 312. Okay. And this all stems from Trump getting 312 votes and Kamala Harris getting 226, which is airplane crash. And of course, the 312, I just showed you how it's all connected to plane crashes. So the election was signaling plane crash riddles. That's what this was all about, guys. The numbers 312 and 226, right? And that's why the plane crash today equals 226. Like Kamala Harris, she got 226 votes, right? Like airplane crash. So it all connects, guys. It all connects. And I've been on this riddle, and again, God put it on my heart to start watching this show just before we get all these plane crash riddles. And now this is starting to happen. We've had two huge plane crashes since I started watching this. And what's interesting about this, guys, is in the show Lost, it's Oceanic Airlines. Well, if you go to the plane that crashed today, this plane or this airline, Jeju Airline, is an oceanic, does flights for the oceanic region. Let me see if I can find it. Right here. So Jeju Airline, the airline that crashed today, one of their one of their areas is the oceanic area. Okay, and then again, this is the Oceanic Airlines flight 815 in the show Lost. I just started watching the show, guys. And like I said, this is so crazy what's going on here. And again, so this is our timeline, right? And later tonight on the live stream, hopefully Derek from Gematria will be able to join me, and Casey Jones from Astrology from YouTube will be able to join me. But we're going to talk about this more in depth, okay? But just to give you a little teaser of what's to come tonight. So this airplane crashed today, the Jeju Airlines flight 2216, right? Let's just go over the base stuff to start, and then we'll jump into it later tonight. But so the big thing that stands out here, first of all, is this happened on 12/29, the date 12/29. That's how you write it. And 1229 is a huge number because it's the 201st prime number. And guys, if you watch my channel, if you watch decoding channels, this is the number of the Jesuit order, the Society of Jesus. The Pope Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 201. He began opening portals, okay, doors recently. On Christmas Eve, he started opening up doors, and ever since he started opening up doors, there's been two huge plane crashes. Okay, his name Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 201. Like he's the first Jesuit Pope. The Jesuit order equals 201. So today, 1229, you get a plane crash, and 1229 is the 201st prime. This happened at Muwan International Airport. I thought it was interesting that Muwan International equals 201 in the same cipher as bird strike warning. Now, look what it says here, guys. South Korea plane crashed minutes after bird strike warning. Bird strike warning 201. And look what happens if you type in the name of the airline, Jeju Air, which is the name of the airline, right? Jeju Air, and you type in Jeju Air crash, it equals 201. Again, this happens on 12/29, the 201st prime. And again, from a bird strike warning, which equals 201. And, Muon International is not the full title of the airport, but it is interesting that Muon International equals 201 in the same cipher. So, again, this is the big number that I wanted to bring up here in this decode, but later we're going to talk about more. And a big shout out to Joseph Aquaviva, another YouTube channel, who just did a video a few days ago about Squid Game 2. Now, remember, Squid Game is a South Korean show that came out on December 26th. Okay? So this show came out one day after the plane crash in Azerbaijan and 3 days before the plane crash in South Korea. But look at the gematria of Squid Game, 147 in reverse, like the full flight that just crashed today, Jeju Air Flight 2216 equals 147, like Squid Game. And again, this plane crashed in South Korea, where this show is from. Okay? Now, this is a big shout out to Joseph Aquaviva 2222. Go subscribe to his channel. He just did a video about Squid Game a few days ago, and one of the numbers he talked about during the decode he did right before this plane crash a couple days later was the number 181, and he talked about how it was connected to Barack Obama. And make sure you guys go check out his video about that. But in the show, the number 181 is the votes. Remember, we're talking about election connection with Trump, Kamala, the elections. We're talking about presidents in South Korea being elected, 3 different presidents in the last month, and now we have these plane crashes. But Joseph talked about him in the show Squid Game. You have a vote for the first time in the show's history. There's a vote where the players can vote, and both sides voted 181. And what's interesting about that is a few days later in South Korea, you have a plane that goes down that had 181 passengers. Okay. Well, total people on the plane, 181. And we just had Squid Game come out where they featured the number 181. And again, South Korea plane, a South Korean show. Squid Game equals the flight, right? So this is not a coincidence, guys. We're going to go more in depth later. But I just wanted to thank you guys for please hit those like buttons. These are all the videos I've been doing over the past month. Please make sure you guys go check out all these videos I've done in the last month so you're up to date. And when we go live tonight, we're going to cover an even more in-depth of this plane crash in South Korea. So I think that's it, guys. It's been the month of plane crashes, and I think it's foreshadowing a possible money crash or something else, more plane crashes to come. So we will see. But thank you guys so much for watching, and please hit those likes, and we will see you guys later tonight on the live stream. Much love. God bless. See you later.